Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Is Taylor's broken heart syndrome real reason Ridge chose her over Brooke? The bold and the beautiful B&B spoilers reveal that Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, recently made a huge romantic decision, but we have to ask, is Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, broken heart syndrome the real reason Ridge chose her over Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang? After Brooke made her reunion pitch, Ridge's response didn't exactly make Taylor seem like the great love of his life. B&B fans heard a lot about Ridge's commitment to Taylor, but honoring a commitment doesn't mean she's the woman he truly wants. That honestly made it sound like Ridge would have taken Brooke back if he hadn't already committed to Taylor. In other words, Ridge is in too deep to back out now, and there may be a very good reason why. When Rebecca Budig first appeared as a Taylor recast, B&B kicked off a story where Taylor thought she was dying of heart failure. Ridge was quite concerned about Taylor when he thought he was going to lose her forever. Of course, additional testing revealed that Taylor was suffering from broken heart syndrome instead. That obviously wasn't as serious, but it still left Ridge feeling guilty for his role in breaking Taylor's heart and contributing to her condition. Ridge was incredibly supportive of Taylor on her path to healing, so how can he possibly shatter her heart all over again? It would be cruel for Ridge to pull the rug out from under Taylor after making her believe they were going to live happily ever after. Since when has Ridge ever cared about commitment anyway? Ridge is impulsive and has had no problem jumping from woman to woman in the past. Maybe Ridge is simply reluctant to jump back to Brooke now because it'd mean crushing Taylor's dreams and devastating her. It could launch another medical crisis for Taylor when she's been doing so well. Ridge may not be willing to do that to Taylor, at least not at this point in the story. It's probably worse to give Taylor false hope. But that may be what Ridge is doing if he's ultimately going to surrender to Brooke down the road. Whatever the case, Ridge wasn't giving off happy vibes after picking Taylor over Brooke. It felt more like Ridge simply thought he was doing the right thing, perhaps mostly for the sake of Taylor's health. If Ridge's true motives for being with Taylor involve protecting her from more medical drama, she may figure that out eventually. Taylor's been making predictions about her future with Ridge, but everything could fall apart sooner or later. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Ridge and Brooke may not be over for good, so stay tuned for updates on any other major romantic news. The world of the bold and the beautiful is never short of drama, love triangles, and emotional roller coasters. One of the longest-running and most complex dynamics on the show has always been the relationship between Ridge Forrester, Brooke Logan, and Taylor Hayes. Over the years, fans have watched this trio navigate betrayal, heartbreak, passion, and of course, undeniable chemistry. But the latest twist, Ridge's decision to choose Taylor over Brooke, has left viewers stunned and asking the same question. Is Taylor's broken heart syndrome the true reason Ridge decided to be with her, or is there something deeper at play? Let's explore this complicated situation and dive into the intricacies of Taylor's emotional state and Ridge's choices. Taylor's broken heart syndrome, a real, physical manifestation of her heartache. First, let's address the elephant in the room. What exactly is broken heart syndrome? Known medically as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, this condition occurs when someone experiences intense emotional or physical stress, leading to temporary heart dysfunction. It can feel very similar to a heart attack, and its symptoms include chest pain, shortness of breath, and in extreme cases, heart failure. It is often triggered by stressful events such as the loss of a loved one, relationship heartbreak, or major life changes. For Taylor, this syndrome isn't just a medical condition. It's a representation of the deep emotional turmoil she's been enduring since the collapse of her relationship with Ridge. Their history is riddled with ups and downs, and Taylor's emotions have always been a key part of her character arc. After years of watching Ridge vacillate between her and Brooke, Taylor finally gave up on holding onto the hope that Ridge would choose her. But when Ridge came back into her life, after all the pain, hurt, and betrayals, she found herself vulnerable again, and vulnerable to the possibility of love. But Taylor's heartache is far more than just a plot device. It serves as a mirror to the battle of the heart versus the mind. Ridge knows Taylor is fragile, and seeing her vulnerable brings out a nurturing side buried under his own emotional baggage. Could Ridge's decision to be with her stem from a place of sympathy, even guilt, after seeing how much Taylor has suffered? Ridge's guilt or true love? Is it sympathy or a heartfelt decision? It's easy to argue that Ridge's choice to stay with Taylor is rooted in guilt. For years, he's oscillated between his love for Brooke and his emotional connection with Taylor. He's experienced an array of highs and lows with both women, and at times, it seemed like his heart was divided in two. Ridge, though conflicted, could never entirely let go of either woman. But now that Taylor is facing a medical crisis that might leave her emotionally fragile, Ridge might feel a stronger sense of responsibility to care for her, almost like he's compelled to be the man she needs him to be. But the question remains, is Ridge's decision truly based on compassion, or is it because he realizes how much he truly loves Taylor? Broken heart syndrome is a physical manifestation of a deeper emotional state. But is it enough to make Ridge choose her over Brooke? After all, Ridge and Brooke have their own history of love and devotion. The dynamic between Ridge and Brooke is one that has seen countless highs and devastating lows, but it has always had a passionate undercurrent. In contrast, Ridge and Taylor's relationship, though equally deep, has often been one of healing and reconciliation. But can healing and guilt create the foundation for a lasting relationship? Ridge's actions in the past have shown that when the chips are down, his decisions tend to lean toward the woman who makes him feel more secure emotionally. Has Taylor's vulnerability in the face of her heart condition given her an edge over Brooke, who always seems to be the strong, independent woman with an air of invincibility? Brooke's rejection and Ridge's shifting affections. On the other side of the coin, we have Brooke, who has been a long-standing pillar in Ridge's life. Their romance has been plagued with infidelities, misunderstandings, and emotional battles, but there is also a deep-rooted love and connection between them. Brooke, while devastated by Ridge's choice to stay with Taylor, is not one to shy away from a fight. But she's not fighting for Ridge simply out of habit. She genuinely believes in the bond they share and the strength of their relationship. But what Brooke may not fully realize is that Ridge's decision to stay with Taylor isn't as simple as choosing one woman over another. It's about where Ridge sees himself emotionally at this moment in his life. The brokenness in Taylor's heart is undeniable, and it's not lost on Ridge. When it comes down to it, the question may be whether Ridge's need to fix what's broken in Taylor is stronger than his desire to return to a tumultuous but passionate relationship with Brooke. Brooke's heartbreak might not be as physically evident as Taylor's, but it's equally damaging to her psyche. The feeling of losing Ridge to her longtime rival is something that cuts deep for Brooke, who has fought for her love with Ridge for years. As much as she may try to project strength and resilience, inside, she's reeling from yet another betrayal. However, Brooke's emotional fortitude is what makes her such a formidable presence in Ridge's life. It's hard to imagine Ridge not feeling the weight of her rejection, even as he leans toward Taylor. The bigger picture, Ridge's complex heart. Ultimately, Ridge's choice is far more complicated than merely choosing between Taylor's broken heart syndrome and Brooke's resilience. The heart doesn't always operate on logic, and Ridge's emotions are deeply intertwined with his sense of guilt, responsibility, love, and desire for peace. Is he choosing Taylor because he feels he owes her? Or is he choosing her because he sees her as the woman who can heal his own emotional wounds? We've seen Ridge torn between Brooke and Taylor for years. The question now is whether this latest decision is a reflection of Ridge's deep emotional scars from the past, or whether it's simply the latest chapter in an ongoing saga of love and loss. If it's the latter, Taylor's vulnerability could be a deciding factor, especially since Ridge has always been the kind of man who can't resist the urge to protect the woman he loves, especially when she's at her most fragile. Taylor's heartache could indeed be the real reason Ridge chose her. In a world filled with emotional chaos, Ridge may have gravitated toward the woman who needed him the most. At least, that's how it seems on the surface. But as The Bold and the Beautiful continues to unravel, we may come to realize that Ridge's decision runs much deeper than just a reaction to Taylor's broken heart syndrome. At the end of the day, only time will reveal whether Ridge's choice is one based on genuine love or a temporary need to heal a wounded heart.